your 9 to 5. That 9 to 5 is totally fine. You're giving an hour lunch break. Now, if you have a side hustle that you're doing within an hour on your lunch break, what you could do is also, hey, send emails out, call different clients while you're doing that, different things within that hour break. Work-life balance for entrepreneurs. So these are some things that have actually helped me within my business. How am I able to, teach portion at college, mentor, have a phenomenal wedding business, have a marketing agency? How am I able to, and big thing, being a husband, also being a father? How am I able to do all these things? It really comes down to really time management. And what people fail to realize is that you can actually buy time by, I would say, understanding how well that time management is going to go. Okay. For instance, now when it comes to time management, splitting up your day, and the great thing, you all have this phenomenal tool within your pocket that you probably don't utilize as much as you should, which is literally your iPhone or Android. I'm an Apple guy. I'm sorry for those who are Android. It's totally fine. We love green bubbles too. Okay. Now, I'm a Blue Bubble guy. All of my products are Blue Bubble, and probably someone's spamming and disliking the video now, but it's totally fine. All right, being within that system, you have a way even within Google or Apple where you can break down your time, and being strategic about breaking down your time and honoring that time. You are giving that to yourself. So if you're working at a day job, say for instance you're still working your 9 to 5, that 9 to 5 is totally fine. You're giving an hour lunch break. Now, if you have a side hustle that you're doing within an hour on your lunch break, what you could do is also, hey, send emails out, call different clients while you're doing that, different things within that hour break. Then get back to your job and do that. If you also have a job that allows you to multitask, do what you need to do. But when you get off of that, hey, I know you may need time to kind of switch over brains. And this is what I call sometimes the dead hour. Or the dead 30 minutes. So we all need a time to kind of decompress from our past tasks. So when you're getting off at that 5 o'clock, maybe 5 to 5:45, you're decompressing. You're not thinking about anything else. You're probably watching your favorite YouTube channel. No, I'm just saying. But, or catching up on an episode or Snowfall, or watching your latest BMA, or hey, watching Star Wars, or whatever you want to do. Whatever your time is spent, use that 45 minutes to just decompress. Now, when it comes to 6 o'clock, we need to be in the game. 6 to 8, what I would say, whatever that side portion that you have that you're building up, really between that 6 to 8, really be engaged within that 6 to 8. Then by 9, what we can do, either working out, eating. By 10, we're going to bed. Now, that's a normal thing that I would say that the average person that could easily do. Now, if you have kids, it becomes a little bit harder. So what you may have to do some days is that, hey, I may need to get help with my kids on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm working within my business maybe Tuesday and Thursdays when I'm getting off. And actually having somebody, paying for daycare for that portion after that 5 to 9 o'clock period. Also, other things that I can also look at when it comes to time management is like, hey, what other systems can I put in place to kind of handle those things throughout the day? That's why I love booking systems when it comes to booking. Now, this is one thing that you may lose, especially if you don't have the opportunity to actually engage and call your clients, is that you lose the ability to phone calls. But that's totally fine. Everybody's not a phone call person. I know I did a video when it comes to that. I'm a really big component about that, but you have to do what you have to do until you can able to do what you want to do. Meaning that if I have to work this day job and use that as my base to really counterpart to my business that I want to do, because even when you translate to working full time, you're just trading one boss for maybe 50 or 60 different bosses. So you're just trading individuals. And we're going to get to the 4 quadrants. Robert Kiyosaki has a phenomenal portion when it comes to understanding working for yourself, working for someone else, being an investor, and also being someone's more so a solid partner, or just a big business corporate individual. It's within the 4 quadrants. We're going to get into that later on, but not today. But when you're working within a small business, you're just trading one boss for several different bosses. So that time that you may think you have, you still lose some of that. You lose a good portion of that time because now you're spending time talking to multiple clients. In a given day, I may spend talking to maybe 10 to 12 different clients a day. Weddings, when it comes to wedding planners, when it comes to, hey, this client wants to update website, that's another different thing. And I have all these different things that's coming on. So I have to make sure that my time spent within my management system works really, really good. So from 8 to 9, I'm doing anything. From 10 to 12, I'm doing something, and being really strategic about my time and moving on to the next thing. That's something that we got to think about when it comes to building our brand, when it comes to time management. All right. Setting boundaries. This is a big thing that us as creatives and us as businesses, we don't do often. You need to set boundaries. At 9 o'clock, if you're done working, and some people work until 11, that's good. That's cool. It's what you do. That's what you do. If you're working until 11, keep doing calls until 11. That's totally fine. But when it comes to 9 o'clock, if people are still calling, you have the choice to not answer that call, especially if you're upfront about your business hours. Now, for instance, pick up that phone at 9:30. Now, what happens within that boundary? That individual has now crossed that boundary, and what happens? You've invited that said individual in that it's okay for me to call you past this time because you engaged at one time. So be strong and firm on those boundaries. And that's how you're going to be able to execute working multiple things, is having really strong boundaries. Because if you don't have these boundaries set in place, you're going to have things kind of bleed into each other. When things start bleeding, the foundation of it gets a little wonky. Your systems start failing so far as your, me checking my email on time, me checking my email in the morning, or I may end up checking my email at night, different things like that. For instance, I tell people, get in a firm habit of when you want to check your emails. You could do that first thing in the morning, then check it usually another 3 hours after that, then check it another 4 hours after that, then having an end day portion where you check emails. And also the great thing about email, you can have a away portion where it says, hey, thank you for calling us. Thank you for emailing us. We will get back with you first thing in the morning if it's past business hours, and having that away system. That saves you. So the client at least knows, hey, before I'm booking with someone else, they're at least are going to contact me back first thing in the morning. So having those systems in place, it establishes boundaries, and be careful about going over your boundaries, because once you start inching over that boundaries, clients will test you, and once it happens, and you lose control over it. Last thing, delegating tasks. All right, so within the business, oftentimes we are afraid to spend money to pay other people to do things. I'm a firm believer of looking at my business, seeing some things that are costing me opportunity costs. And I want to get in, I'm gonna create a video when it comes to opportunity costs and what it does, because I kind of think of everything when it comes to opportunity costs. Me working on a reel for this portion is taking me away from doing something within, so far as like a Photoshop element that I really have to spend my time doing it, because I don't have anyone to kind of fill that frame. So I can outsource that real component to someone that has the skills to do that. For instance, if you are an individual that does not work well at creating blogs, hey, get you an operating system like ChatGPT or a copywriter, someone that focuses on that to create your content for you or help you in that aspect, so you can put that information out. If you know you need help on that, get a system in place. Delegate the tasks. I'm a firm believer that when it comes to retouching, I retouch some portions of my wedding portion, but not majority of it. I outsource once it gets past like 12. I'm outsourcing that portion. Even when it comes to my personal photos, my wife knows, hey, I'm gonna edit maybe 10, 12 of these. The rest of these are gonna be outsourced. Or if I have a tough week, maybe I'm only retouching one client's work and the rest of that is getting outsourced. Reason being, delegation matters. In scaling your business, that's going to matter because clients don't want to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get their stuff back. They want to know that you're an active business and you have systems in place. So delegating tasks helps you to scale your business. Okay? So what did we learn? Work with other people. Wait. I'm not going to say that. It's close. All right. So that's it. Thank you all for tuning. All right. So that's it. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to see you all next week.